Welcome back. Darren Fry and Dwayne Bussey joining us. All right, Allendale's 2024 acreage survey results coming out. Their survey showed corn. We're going to see that down 1.2 million acres from 2023 to 93.47 million. Soybeans up 2.2 million to 85.8 million. Darren, is that kind of in line with what you were thinking?
Well, I was actually thinking we'd see a smaller corn number and a larger bean number, kind of like the outlook for them. But last year we had the same type of thinking, and then farmer came in with bigger corn acres, smaller bean acres. Farmers like to plant corn, and from a perspective of which one would make more money or lose less money, I think it is soybeans. We do a lot of financial analysis on accrual projections, and I think the farmer is going to be better off planting some more beans, but they like planting corn, and maybe they're more optimistic of higher corn prices later versus bean prices being higher. So those numbers that we saw from Allendale, while startling at first, they might be closer to the mark than we think.
Well, a lot of questions when it comes to the fringe acres. Dwayne, it just so happens you live there, you farm there. When you look at North Dakota and South Dakota, it's been pretty mild, talking about an early start to spring. What do you think?
Yeah, exactly. A couple months ago, I was probably in that 4 million acre shift away from corn to soybeans, just like everyone else. I think that's where USDA came out as well. But I think Allendale's nailing it here. Driving in North Dakota and South Dakota last couple of weeks, there is zero snow. All the fall field work was done that everybody seems like they wanted to. Fields look ready to go. In fact, we're kind of holding everybody back from going out too early, which obviously it's way too early up here. So if that is the case, weather to me is always the largest driver of these fringe states up here as far as what gets planted. So I think Allendale is really correct by saying right now, as we intend, it's a little bit more corn acres than we thought.
Yeah, and a lot like what we saw last year when we had that early spring and farmers just kept planting corn in some of those other states. All right, I know we're still assessing, Darren, the impact of the wildfires in Texas on the cattle market, but are the fundamentals bullish still for cattle?
I think they are, and I think everybody knows why they are. There's tight numbers. There's still good domestic demand. We have to see something ration some of that demand, and we're seeing that in the export market. But it's jittery up here. One day you go into new highs, the next day you're coming back to support, and you're getting these reversals down and then back up again. And we're seeing the same type of trade throughout this past week. So just a lot of consternation about being long up here at all-time highs. But I think fundamentally the market still can go higher. I think the cash has tried to come down as the packers have slowed the shackle speed up and tried to boost the beef and cut the cash and knock things back. But they haven't been successful, and I think ultimately we're going to probably see things trend higher into this April-May timeframe as we see box beef continue to move higher with demand showing up at a normal seasonal. So I want to remain bullish for right now.
It's really active in this cattle market right now. Darren mentioned new all-time highs. Are the funds buying, Dwayne?
I don't think they are to the point I want them to. That's what kind of has me a little bit concerned this week. And like earlier in the week, I was sending you an email about how bullish I am the cattle market. Then Thursday's trade action had me a little concerned. If you look back at the charts, we had massive fund buying get us to highs. And then, of course, as they exited last year, that's when we came off. I don't think they're quite buying as much as I'd like to see. But Darren's right. The fundamentals are bullish. That is enough story to push us to higher prices now. But we need those funds to really come back in, and they have to buy it as well.
All right, to end things, I'm going to ask you both kind of what is your advice for farmers heading into spring planting, some already in the field, but those that are getting ready to hit the field. Dwayne, I'll start with you. What's your advice?
I guess my advice has been kind of the same this winter, that it's very possible the great commodity bull run is over from the last couple of years. So we're back to hedging being a good thing. So make a marketing plan, have that in place, especially on this corn market. I'm a little bit nervous if we do increase the acres and we have a above trend yield, how ugly it could get come fall. So have a marketing plan in place as you get rolling.
Darren, you're having a lot of conversations with farmers right now as well. What are you telling them?
Yeah, it's kind of in line with what Dwayne said. I do think that when we topped out back a year or so, year and a half ago, that is a good top for quite a while. But I do think rallies are possible, and those rallies could be a little bit bigger than what we expect, just given weather challenges, given what's going on with La Nina, El Nino dropping off, and maybe La Nina coming in the middle of our growing season as we approach South America's next growing season. So there might be some opportunities here, but we're going to have some rallies to sell and then maybe some breaks to reown. and maybe through some base hits get a better value than what we can see today. But I just think we're going to have a lot of opportunities to sell, but those rallies need to be sold as we move through summer.
All right. Thank you both for joining us. I really appreciate it. We need to take a quick break, and then we're checking in with Machinery Pete for Tractor Tales. That's next.